Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today is a great day because we've come together to witness something truly spectacular here. The world's greatest conscious entrepreneurs coming together to solve some of the world's most pressing challenges. I'm Shibani Dandekar, and I'm your host for the first ever Entrepreneurship Sports Generation Global Finals. 300,000 entrepreneurs from 195 countries and over $300 million of rewards. Entrepreneurship Sports Generation ESG is the world's premier sportified and gamified entrepreneurship ecosystem. We know that the world needs over 1 billion jobs over the next 10 years. We all know that entrepreneurs create the most jobs. This ecosystem is here to help support this job creation in every city, in every country, and in the support of the UN Sustainable Development Goals. We welcome the world's greatest emerging entrepreneurs, the best 12, chosen from 300,000 entrepreneurs around the world. The best from each region, the most innovative solutions in diverse sectors, representing their cities, their countries, and most importantly, representing every single one of us that cares deeply about these issues. The final 12 from the US, Brazil, UK, Austria, Nigeria, Israel, India, China, and Australia. Welcome to the Global Finals of the Entrepreneurship Sports Generation 2020. Before we really start knocking it out of the park, I would like to invite the Executive Chairman of TGELF. Put your hands together for Shiv Khemka.
Welcome to ESG, Entrepreneurship Sports Generation. It's been a really tough year for all of us around the world, and we hope that 2021 will be better. It's been a year when many jobs have been lost, and as we look forward, I know that many are concerned about the jobs of the future. The United Nations has laid out a roadmap, the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals, 17 goals to solve the problems in the coming decades. And yet, what underlies all of this is jobs. We believe entrepreneurs create jobs faster than anyone else. And so imagine a world where local and global entrepreneurship ecosystems worked much better than they do today, where they were connected and they allowed people to collaborate and to harness the promise of technology to create abundance. Ecosystems that were more diverse, more inclusive, more equitable, and deeply collaborative. Mahatma Gandhi said, "The world has enough for our needs, but not enough for our greed." Imagine if we could create a coalition of entrepreneurs around the world and supporters, rather like a sports ecosystem that actually had this new consciousness, a consciousness of sharing, a consciousness of equity, and a consciousness of building towards solving problems together. Let us all realize the unity of our human fate, where we can achieve much more together than we can apart. Please join us in this movement to learn about the future together, to find and support the best entrepreneurs from around the world, to collaborate in addressing global challenges, and to use the incredible power of sports and entertainment to encourage and bind us together in this common mission. Welcome to ESG. Welcome to the Entrepreneurship Sports Generation. Wishing you happy holidays and good health in the year ahead.
Thank you. That's such an inspiring vision.
Imagine a world with 1,000 great leaders. Where are they? Help us find them. The lead search has begun. Join us at tgelf.org.
It's great to be here today at the ESG Finals. The world has several large problems. Only human ingenuity is going to help us address those large problems. It is terrific to see entrepreneurs from around the world organized in a sports championship-like manner today at the ESG Finals. I'm sure we will witness several game-changing ideas that will make our world better. Thank you for your participation, and I hope all of you have a great experience at today's ESG Finals.
Now time for us to start. Let the games begin. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a total of 12 finalists selected from over 300,000 applications received from across the planet. These are the startups and ideas of the future. We will have 2 rounds of competition, knockout and spotlight. The first round, the knockout round, will see some hard-fought bouts which will culminate with 6 contenders going forward. For these winning 6, the going gets even tougher in the next round. In the second round, the spotlight turns on them as they face our panel of incredible judges. And from this round, the final champions emerge. Our judges and selected members of the live audience joining us in this virtual stadium from all over the planet will be voting to decide who makes it to the next round. We now welcome our expert ESG judges. Cynthia Cleveland. Cynthia is a partner at CEO Coaching International and a 5-time CEO and president, having led companies which have generated over $4 billion in worldwide sales. She has served on 10 boards, including top leadership in the Young Presidents Organization. Claudia Romo Edelman is the founder of the We Are All Human Foundation, the co-host of Global Goalscast, and the editor-at-large of Thrive Global. Prior to this, Claudia led marketing and communications for UNICEF, the World Economic Forum, and many more. Roya Mehboob. Roya is an Afghan entrepreneur and philanthropist focused on building digital literacy for women and children in developing countries. She's the founder and CEO of Afghan Citadel Software Company, the CEO and co-founder of the Digital Citizen Fund. Up next, we have Keith Mitchell. Keith is a former All-Pro NFL football player turned internationally renowned celebrity yogi and motivational mindfulness coach. He created Keith Mitchell 59 to provide purposeful, holistic tools that help others achieve optimal health, peace, and aliveness to the fullest degree. Ramanan Ramanathan is the mission director of the Atal Innovation Mission, a flagship national innovation initiative of the Prime Minister and the Government of India under the National Institute for Transforming India, or Niti Aayog. Nikhil Sinha is the CEO at One Valley, a global entrepreneurship and innovation services company. Prior to joining One Valley, Nikhil was the Chief Content Officer at Coursera, the world's largest higher education technology platform, where he continues as Senior Advisor to the CEO. Sheil Tile is the founder and CEO of Amplo, a global venture capital firm helping build companies that matter. As an angel investor, Sheil has invested in the seed or Series A of Casper, Flutterwave, Mark 43, Robinhood, and others. Shelley Zales is the founder and CEO of the Female Quotient, working to close the gaps that continue to hold women back across parity, pathway, pipeline, and policy. She's an internationally renowned entrepreneur, speaker, mentor, and is our final judge for round 1. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us as we select the best conscious entrepreneurs from around the world. We're also joined by an incredible audience from 195 countries present with us virtually in the T-Gelf Stadium, committed to building a sustainable world together. Not just that, selected members of the global audience will be voting alongside the judges, helping us determine the 2020 champions. So audience, are you ready? Just like the IPL, NBA, FIFA, NFL, EPL, this is one of the greatest sport leagues on the planet. A new generation that reimagines entrepreneurship as sport. The Entrepreneurship Sports Generation 2020. May the best entrepreneurs win. Let the early stage knockouts begin. In this round, the 12 entrepreneurs will go head-to-head with their best pitches. After each set of pitches, our judges will deliberate and the audience will vote to decide which team will go on to round 2. Only one will come out victorious. Let's head to the ring. Ladies and gentlemen, the founder of Alicerce, representing the Sao Paulo Jaguars from Brazil, Paulo Batista. And the founder of Trashcon, representing the Bangalore Elephants from India, Nivedha RM. Paulo, the floor is yours.
Alicerce means foundation in Portuguese. AliQuest, our global brand, tells you what we are, an after-school program that is a new journey for underprivileged kids. I'm a fan of hypergrowth and exponentiality and have been inspired by Singularity University. After I sold my first company, an e-commerce that reached $300 million in sales in only 6 years, I decided to dedicate the rest of my life to education, an old passion. Then I got lucky to be joined by Monica, a unique PhD in Brazil, and Reginaldo, and that makes us quite unique as we are one of the very few companies to have a Black member in the founding team, even though 80% of Brazilians are African Brazilian. We are proud to be inspired by a very solid investor base that is committed to impact investing and also the leading venture capital funds in Brazil. Despite being active for a very little time, we already gained recognition due to the marked impact we've had on the 6,000 students that we have already touched with our program. We are a purpose-driven entity, and this slide shows you data from PISA that highlights the huge imbalances that are at the source of our economic inequalities. That's the problem we are focused on solving. We were inspired by Chinese after-school programs that have proven that it is possible to scale to more than 4 million students quickly and with quality. We have proven that our method can take a student from PISA level 1 to PISA level 3 in 6 months and to PISA level 4 in 1 year. For those that don't know PISA, that's the equivalent of recovering 1.2 years of school equivalent curriculum every 60 days. The secret sauce is using a whole child approach to create a life project for our students. We have also applied agile techniques and processes to learning, embodied in Alicerce's learning sprint. We are at a very exciting stage. We are very proud of what we've achieved, mainly our very high NPS, impressive learning performance, and strong revenues and margin that already makes us a self-sustainable entity if we so desire. But we want to grow more. Over the next 5 years, we intend to scale up in Brazil and then expand globally, mainly to India, Africa, and to serve minorities in the developed countries. In terms of product and technology, Alicerce is essentially a proprietary LMS and gamified learning experience combined with a very strong people engine. We are strong believers that culture eats strategy for breakfast and know that the success of our people engine is core to our impact. Inspired on Teach for America, our people organization selects top young talent to be leaders and not just teachers. Our leaders are organized in a multi-layer management system by which we form tribes and nations, always replicating the 1-to-20 ratio that forms our classrooms. In this slide, you can see the core components of our proprietary LMS. Our LMS collects massive amount of organized data that will be very valuable to develop AI-based solutions and further leverage the human elements. Our program not only has a direct impact on SDGs 1, 4, 8, 10, and 17, but we also have an indirect impact on all SDGs as we teach our students all about them in our discovery track. Making sure the new generation is fully aligned with SDGs is the mother of all weapons to create the impact we need to see in the 21st century. Thank you.
Nivedha, the floor is all yours.
Do you know what happens to waste when it goes out of your houses? 95% of the waste in the world gets dumped in landfills, quarries, and because there's not enough land left, it gets burnt right in front of our houses, causing all kinds of pollution and of course global warming and 22 different types of diseases. The one solution to this is segregation. But despite laws and regulations and trillions of billions spent on creating awareness, only 10% of the world's population segregate their waste. That's when we thought, why don't we create a system that will take all kinds of waste and segregate it beautifully into degradables and non-degradables? Because the moment I segregate, I can generate value. It does not have to go back to the landfills. But that was not easy because we were trying to create a system almost like a black box, which will take unknown variables and give out known variables. But that's exactly what we did. And nights for nearly 4 years on the dump sites, ladies and gentlemen, to create the world's first completely automated mixed waste segregation unit trash pot. This can take what you see on the left, the mixed waste, and segregate it into degradables and non-degradables. And the plastics that come out of this, we then convert it into plastic sheets. These are similar to plyboard, which are then cut into benches, desks, tables, chairs, bathrooms, doors, windows, and whatnot. In fact, there was this entire village which was being dumped with garbage, and the villagers there were suffering from respiratory diseases. The kids couldn't go because of the stench which was next to their school. And we transformed their village into complete zero waste villages. And not just that, the kids didn't have a place to sit. And from the plastics recovered from this garbage, we made benches and desks and gave it to 3,000 government school kids in the same village, thus making 23 villages zero waste at once. And not just that, and solving 13 out of 17 sustainability development goals. So it goes without saying that it can be placed in any village, town, municipality across the world, but at 1/10 the cost of anything, any conventional system out there. And this could not come without a lot of encouragement globally. We were awarded by the Trade Minister and Prime Minister of Norway, by the United Nations Deputy Secretary General, and we have an excellent team. A team, I'm a chemical engineer, a TEDx speaker. I have my co-founder, Saurabh Jain, is a chartered accountant and a serial entrepreneur. And we have advisors from some of the top 100 corporates in the world. And we have global advisors, including Shell and Amarante. And not just this, we have a vision. We have a vision that 20 years down the lane, when I'll be telling a story to my daughter, saying, Beta, once upon a time there was waste. And my daughter says, Mama, what is waste? And that is the vision. And in achieving this, we are already impacted 100 million lives in just the past 6 months. We have a revenue of $1 million, and we're projected to reach 600 million USD by the year 2025. We are working with some of the who's who in the industry. And most importantly, during COVID, when waste pickers were dying across the world, our waste pickers were risk-free. Thank you. And we look forward to collaborating with you to create a cleaner tomorrow. Thank you so much.
It's over to you, judges, now for your deliberation and decision.
My personal view was the second one was very clear, very outcome oriented with some data, which was also presented.
The difference between the first and second, they're both good concepts. The second one was more innovative, and the passion of somebody commented in chat who managed to get in, the passion of the young woman was impressive.
I agree. I wanted to say the same. I mean, both concept was great. I mean, education is something that I am very involved, but I also like the second company because the woman was very passionate and she was very clear explaining about the project.
I was going to jump in and say the same. The second, it was just taking junk and smell and turning it into actually utility that was beautiful, and it seemed like low cost as well.
I second that. I absolutely, and I think that both of them are not. I mean, like there are things like that. These not groundbreaking. They're not really that innovative, but they are greatly implemented, I would say. And if I look at the SDGs and the priorities of the SDGs and what needs to happen, I think that having local solutions that can address climate change in a way that is empowering communities to take further these kind of things, I would just say, like, my vote goes for her. I mean, like the project, but also for her. Like, I really like her passion. So
there are a lot of after school learning solutions out there, and it wasn't quite clear what the sustainable business model would be in that first example. Whereas I think not only, I completely agree with the fact that this is a local solution, the second company, TrashCon, is a local solution, but really does have global applications.
Hello everyone. I want to say a few words first to congratulate all the participants in this amazing startup competition, and to say that we will be very pleased to host the winners at 2 of the races in Formula E. And to say that, like many of you, I'm also an entrepreneur. I started my businesses a few years ago, and everything starts with an idea. The key is to believe in your idea, to follow it, and to make it happen. And if it doesn't happen, try again with the next idea. That is to be an entrepreneur. Good luck, everyone. Congratulations to the winners.
Congratulations, Bengaluru Elephants. Congratulations, Nivedha and the TrashCon team for making it to the next round. Let's see what the next matchup is. Ladies and gentlemen, the co-founder of Bindi Maps, representing the Sydney Dingoes from Australia, Mladic Jovanovic. And the founder of iStem, representing the Delhi Eagles from India, Karthik Soni. Mladic, the floor is yours.
In this day and age, imagine if you were told that you could only go to 1 out of every 20 shopping malls because of your skin color, gender, or religious beliefs. Well, people with disabilities are told exactly that. Even in the wealthiest countries in the world, all too often people with disabilities struggle to access the very necessities of life. All too often they are unable to access education and recreation. They are denied access to schools and shopping malls, and they are often isolated and alone. 285 million people with vision impairment face these problems. This means 1 in every 26 people are unable to do basic things, like independently use public restrooms, let alone participate in education and employment. My name is Mladic Jovanovic, and I'm the Chief Operating Officer and co-founder of Bindi Maps. Bindi Maps was created so nobody needs to navigate their day in darkness. Using Bluetooth beacons, proprietary language, and localization algorithms, we have created a highly accurate navigation app which helps people who are vision impaired to navigate indoor spaces. After installing Bindi Maps in many places across Australia, we decided to think bigger. We added features for people with autism, people in wheelchairs, and for sighted people, and created a product which assists everyone in the community. This is what separates us from the competition. Bindi Maps is now the largest supplier of accessible indoor navigation in Australia and is on the way to become the one global app for all indoor navigation. We are currently addressing 6 UN SDGs. Our customers are building owners and operators. We run a subscription model, charging per square metre of Bindi Maps coverage per month. Based on these verticals alone, our TAM includes 26 million locations, bringing our total addressable revenue to $130 billion per year. The Bindi Maps app is free to download and use for the community once the location has been equipped with the technology. Bindi Maps is installed in 75% of the states and territories in Australia and have secured 3 of the largest shopping mall operators as clients. Bindi Maps is removing barriers for people with disabilities to get back into the workforce. Unemployment rates of people with disabilities can be as high as 80 to 90%. Bindi Maps has the power to change these statistics and impact 1.5 billion people globally. Our founding team. Tony has helped develop over 45 Australian companies and founded a market-leading car marketplace. Anna has over 25 years experience in finance and has already taken 1 company through IPO. I'm a Forbes 30 Under 30 alumni and have won many startup competitions, including first place in ICT at the University Startup World Cup. In the early 2000s, the doctors told Anna, "You're going to go blind, it's just a matter of time." Together, we created Bindi Maps to help Anna and millions of people around the world have their independence and live life to the fullest. Bindi Maps is more than just a navigation app. Bindi Maps is another step further towards equality and inclusion. Thank you.
Karthik, you're up.
Hi everyone, my name is Karthik and I'm the CEO at iSTEM, where our vision is to empower 1/5 of the global population of people with disabilities. I was born blind, and when I wanted to pursue engineering in India, I was told by several institutes that they could not provide me the necessary support or resources that I needed. But when I went to Stanford, I realized that a lot of support that I got there could actually be automated using technology and brought back to a country like India or elsewhere in the world. And so the problem that we are trying to solve at iSTEM is this problem of unequal access to education and employment opportunities for people with disabilities around the world by working closely with these institutes and businesses through our technology. And this is the market size that we are looking at right now. And so in terms of our solution, it can be divided into two parts. The first part of our solution automates the various administrative processes and workflows that need to be put in place by these organizations to include someone with a disability on their campus. So right from onboarding a person with a disability to managing their services that they need, tracking the equipment, etc., all of that is taken care of through this module. The second module, which we're in the process of patenting right now, basically uses AI to automate some of the most commonly used services by people with disabilities. And so the first part, it takes in any sort of complex document that might contain tables, math, headings, two-column layout, etc., and converts that into audio that can be consumed by someone who is blind or visually impaired or someone with a learning disability. And the second part of this provides high-quality, domain-specific targeted captions for someone who is deaf or hard of hearing. And this ensures that these organizations can minimize their legal risk, but also save on a lot of costs that they would have otherwise had to spend in provision of these services to their students and professionals with disabilities. So we have a freemium business model to make sure that we can reach out to as many people with disabilities as possible, while also ensuring that we can scale our business using our B2B and B2C revenue streams that you can see here. So we already have global partners in India and North America, have 1,200 total users, 200 active users right now. We are already generating revenue in the time that we've been around for about a year. And then also, these are some of the awards and investments that we have so far. And this is basically our community at one of our community events. These are some of the partners that we have. And then finally, our team that consists of people with disabilities ourselves, so we bring in first-hand experience coupled with technical experience, having studied and worked with some of the most prestigious organizations in the world. And with that, I'm going to transition to a demo, but thank you so much for your time and look forward to further discussions.
Judges, it's over to you. It's time for you to deliberate and make your decision.
I also think the name was misleading to me. I wouldn't call it iSTEM. I would call it like iAble or something, but when you look at all the STEM things out there, this one seemed very different. So the name threw me off. But the concept to me is just so wonderful. And I agree with Claudia. I saw UNICEF on there, Microsoft, and these wonderful companies. And I was just with a deaf and blind woman that got through Stanford as a lawyer and relies on these kind of tools. So if we could help expand this concept and help so many others, A, it educates, but B, it adds ability to job creation.
The second piece of it is the AI technology that either creates audio or visual tools and translations of STEM books. What we saw in the demo was only the first part. And I think that was why we were confusing. We were looking for the second, but what they showed us was the first, which is how does a student ask for accommodations and apply for the kinds of administrative support that they need. We haven't actually seen the second part of it in the demo. And so I think there's a huge execution risk. It's not quite clear that this team is the one that's going to solve the problem of being able to create an automated system that will deliver text either in audio form or audio in visual form, depending on the nature of the disability. And that's just an unknown based on what we've been able to get at least within this 3-minute video.
May jump in. I think looking at this video a second time was very useful to me. I do feel that he is addressing the problem correctly. There are two parts, as he himself has identified. One is, the woeful lack of administrative support that is absolutely present in almost every school in India from a disability point of view. There is no support at all, or very little support. And you need to be able to bring that sort of support and awareness and education, and that they are doing the automation through the portal, so that even as people get admitted, you are recognizing what they need and the type of support and processes.
Congratulations, Delhi Eagles. Congratulations, Karthik. And congratulations to the iSTEM team for making it to the next round. Ladies and gentlemen, the founder of Traders of Africa, representing the Lagos Lions from Nigeria, Uju Oza Ojinaka. And the founder of Remind, representing the Vienna Wolves from Austria, Julia Dujumovic. Uju, the floor is yours.
Africa consists of 54 countries. She's blessed with rich human and material resources and have an array of tradable goods and services. However, there is a huge gap, a disconnect between buyers and sellers of African products in the following ways. Visibility of products. Most sellers of African products, including smallholder farmers, do not know how to reach buyers of their products. This has led to great loss and waste of products. Access to available products. A lot of buyers do not know how or where to purchase various African products that they need. Trust. There's a great distrust between buyers and sellers. None, even when they meet, is willing to make the first move. As a result, most buyers have to send representatives to the location where they want to purchase from. Lastly, payment terms. Most large buyers of African products want to pay via various payment terms like LCs, DPs, CADs, while most African suppliers want to be paid in cash. They say it's cash and carry. And so to solve the problem of visibility and access to products, we created a Pan-African online marketplace for products grown, produced, or manufactured in Africa only. It's called tradersofafrica.com. We're strictly a point of convergence. We don't keep any content. We've been called the Alibaba for Africa. Presently, we have over 16,000 suppliers on the platform from 15 African countries. Because we know that most African suppliers are largely offline, we created the offline part of the platform. It's called the Source Pro unit, through which we are buyers to sellers and sellers to buyers. So without keeping any content, and have amassed a web of field agents all over the continent who supervise orders from the point of placement to final supply, thereby creating jobs for the locals. We also created an AfricanTradeInvest.com, a Pan-African digital platform for funding and investing in African trade. On one hand, genuine suppliers of African products who have confirmed orders backed by acceptable payment terms could go to the platform and request for funding. Their funding requests are broken into units and offered to individuals, companies all over the world to invest in and earn a share of the profits. You can invest in Naira or US dollars. As a result, in 2019, we closed with a revenue of $2.1 billion. We're set to do $5 million this year, and we're projecting to do $10 million in 2021. Therefore, we need to build a strategic partnership to deepen our operations. We need to scale our operations to other African countries and currencies. We need to build our threefold credibility on the part of our suppliers, buyers, and investors. We are asking for an equity investment of $1 million and $2 million in debt. With me on this journey is a team of innovators sowing the seeds of qualitative trade with Africa. I call them Team Awesome. My name is Uju Uzojinaka. I'm the founder CEO of TOFA. Thank you.
Ulia, it's now your time to present to the judges.
Hi, I'm Julia Dulmowitz. I'm inspired by impossible big dreams. That was the mindset leading me to win Olympic gold. I know exactly how important 1 minute of breathing can be. In life, breathing is the very, very beginning. It connects the body and the mind. If you can learn to breathe consciously, you can change both your mental and your physical state. This can lead to peace and global sustainability. One breath from you leads to many more breaths, to healing, both you and the world.
Hi, I'm Chris. Conscious breathing is scientifically proven to lower your blood pressure, de-stress you, to help you go to sleep. Breathing can make you feel good, is free of charge, and has no side effects. At Remind, we have launched a free app connecting the world in one community, breathing together every day. Remind is deeply committed to SDG 3 on global health and well-being. We have a talented team of Olympians, actors, world-class entrepreneurs, and we have raised seed venture capital. The problem is that 25% of the global population is already on or will be on antidepressants. Sleep deprivation, suicides are at pandemic levels. And now we're also fighting a virus. Young and old are fearful, angry, and sad. Never before has it been more important to come together. Our solution, the Remind app, already connects thousands of people breathing together every day. We're addressing a huge health tech and wellness market, estimated to be $4.2 trillion in total, bigger than the Russian and the Indian GDP combined, growing at 12 to 15% annually. The Remind business model is scalable and with very low customer acquisition cost, using partners in a B2B2C model. While many of our tools will remain free forever, our revenue model allows for subscription and transaction revenues. Our competitive advantage is clearly our IP, our community, and our unique team.
Two fabulous presentations there. It's now over to the judges and the audience for them to decide.
Well, that's a very intriguing concept because obviously, like you said, it is my space and it's where I'm actually moving into with the tech world and the financial industry that I work with. But so it's on point. It's so valid. To work these types of industries, these businesses, we have to have some sort of a sane mind, because so it's so important. I like that concept of how they showcased it. There's obviously several other companies that are similar to that, but there's space for more. It's just so many people still don't know the practices exist, and something so simple can be overlooked, and we miss that opportunity. So I think something so simple that's so impactful, like Calm, I think is $1 billion company now.
I kept thinking of Calm as I was looking at Remind. I like the concept of one breath together. I love the name Remind. I thought the look and feel of the deck was beautiful, but I think there's a ton of those, concepts today. And I wasn't very inspired by that. When I saw TOFA, marketplace is such a very important connecting buyer-seller concept. I also missed a lot of it, but I when she said it's like the Alibaba for Africa. That was a good analogy for me. It made me understand it a lot better. Do I think she is the one that might be the leader of bringing this very big new concept forward? I don't think so, but I'm not sure.
Each time our actions inspire our community to be better. We become one.
Guided by our founder's screw business as usual mantra, we quickly shifted our focus from business acceleration to recovery management.
Congratulations, Lagos Lions. Congratulations, Uju. And congratulations to the Traders of Africa team for making it to the next round. Ladies and gentlemen, the co-founder of EdSites, representing the New York Bears from the United States of America, Claudia and Carolina Recchi. And the founder of Levo, representing the London Wildcats from Great Britain, Charmaine Hayden. Claudia and Carolina, the floor is all yours.
Hey everyone, this is Carolina and Claudia Recchi from EdSites. At EdSites, we use conversational artificial intelligence to solve the college dropout crisis. We thought we would share a picture of us back in 1997. In this picture, we're just kids, we're living in Italy, we speak no English at the time, and we really had no idea what our future had in mind for us. Fast forward 20 years, we are living in the US, we are running a venture-backed tech company and helping kids all over the country earn a college degree. We know that we would not be where we are today had it not been for our college degree and had we not moved to the US for university. And that's really why we care about the problem that we're solving.
And so the problem that we're solving is the college dropout crisis. This is a massive problem. To give you an idea, only about half of the students who start college actually end up graduating. And unfortunately, what happens is the students who drop out end up earning about 35% less than people with a degree, and they're also 4 times more likely to default on student debt. So the way that we are solving this problem is very unique. We are using an SMS chatbot to really engage and support students from the moment they start college to the moment that they graduate. And so how does this actually work in practice?
So you can really think of it as a Siri or an Alexa, but for college. We take the form of college mascots, which makes us a lot more friendly. And as you can see in this slide, we are proactively checking in with students, sort of like a virtual advisor, asking them how they're doing. And then when we identify that the students could use some help, we will actually connect those students to relevant resources, either within the school or outside of the school.
So in terms of impact, we see 98% student opt-in, which is really high. Students love talking to our chatbot. We see a 12% increase in retention on average, and this leads to about $2 million in additional tuition revenue for our universities. So where are we now? We work with over 40 colleges in the US. We've reached 1 million in sales, and we've also gathered over $3 million in venture capital. Some of our investors include Techstars, the global accelerator, and a bunch of founders that we really look up to, like the founder of Warby Parker, Harry's, Bonobos, and many more.
We also work with a really diverse group of universities. We're very proud of the institutions that we serve.
Both public and private.
Both public and private, and most of them serve really low-income first-generation students, and those are the students who need our help the most. We know that the college dropout crisis is not a US problem. It is really a global issue. Students all over the world are struggling to earn a degree, and in many countries, in most countries, earning a degree is really the ticket to economic mobility and a better future. So that's why we're excited to not only scale our impact within the US, but also across many other countries as well.
Charmaine, it's now your turn to impress our judges.
Hiya, I'm Charmaine Hayden, the founder of Livo. So what is Livo? Livo is a virtual event streaming platform, enabling people to still attend events, whether they can leave their house or not. We started this project during the mouth of the recession because with music industry peers and someone who speaks at a lot of conferences understood the importance of being able to retain jobs within the events industry. I think that the predictions just in the UK alone are that 170,000 people by December will have lost their jobs who are in the entertainment industry. We wanted to not just make an event streaming platform, we wanted to be able to monetize it so that people kept their eyes on the screen and made time and space for it in their lives. But more importantly, we wanted to make sure that it was innovative and it incorporated more than just a flat 2D experience. So Livo's long-term plan is to build an AI VR platform, enabling people to be immersive. The MVP is ready and good to go, and it enables people to click, clap, cheer, boo, and pay for shows in advance. And the problem itself is that 85% of the world's live events industry is inoperative. Music DJs and live event hosts are faced with the reality that they cannot make money, and event organizers and ticket platforms are fledgling. We have a revenue model that enables us to take a percentage cut from all ticket and merchandise sold. And the market itself is worth $2.3 trillion in total. We only want to go after 2% of that. And we have a very experienced team. Myself, I have experience in the music industry and as an operator, was part of the founding team for GRM Daily, which is the largest streaming platform for music videos in the UK. I have experience as a committee member with the MOBOs, Grammys and BET Awards. And our team have extensive knowledge, and we have some great advisors also who are A&Rs consultants across the industry. We want to make sure that we are sustainable, and we believe that virtual is the way forward. We've seen that big bands such as Coldplay have actually stopped touring because they want to make sure that they're doing their part. And virtual concerts are cutting down waste and CO2 and air pollution, as well as creating jobs, as well as having an innovative product. We have actually started to onboard people, and we have hundreds of people that are interested in joining our app already, and that have signed up as provisionals, and a few stadium selling artists that are willing to evangelize and actually be the first people to launch their virtual events on our app. This has been Livo. I'm Charmaine Hayden. Thank you so much for listening to this pitch.
And now to the judges to review that play-by-play and choose our winner.
Yeah, as I understood it, it is a virtual concert. So they're promoting attending virtual concerts, and then they're leveraging AR, VR, AI technology to make it more realistic and more effective. So personally, I thought it was quite innovative, and that's the need of our times. And that's how they are linking it up with the avoidance of physical tours and physical visits and so on, and they're linking it to the SDG goals.
And I like how they're using, they're also including merchandise. And I'm assuming that merchandise could be into hotels, anything that you would do in a social event, they can do. They're suggesting that they can do through their platform. I think that's very interesting.
My perspective, there's so many of those out there already, and I didn't feel any purpose-driven anything behind virtual events. I felt very flat from that, my opinion.
I mean, the need, for example, for Hispanics is 35% of Hispanics drop out of school only because there's no, mechanism to contain them. So I can relate to that as an educational tool, but yeah, neither of both seem really
Congratulations, the New York Bears. Congratulations, Claudia and Carolina. And congratulations to the EdSites team for making it to the next round. Congratulations to all of the participants of the early stage competition. Honestly, all of the pitches were incredible, and I have no idea how the judges could have chosen between you. That's why I'm not a judge. Now, let the growth stage knockout rounds begin. Ladies and gentlemen, the founder of Bina AI, representing the Tel Aviv Leopards from Israel, David Maman. And now the founder of Robust AI, representing the Palo Alto Pumas from the United States of America, Gary Marcus. David, the floor is all yours.
Hi, everyone, and thank you very much for having us. We are Bina AI. My name is David Maman, and I'm the founder, CEO, and CTO of Bina AI. This is the 13th startup that I founded, and 4 have already been acquired. I have an amazing co-founders and amazing team of executives at Bina AI. Bina was founded in 2016. Today, we're a team of 65 people, over a dozen PhD, and during the last year, we've been getting a lot of recognition, winning the CS Innovation Awards, Juniper Outstanding Achievement in Technology, and other types of recognition. At Bina, we're focusing on 2 of the largest problems in healthcare. Healthcare availability, about half of the world lacks access to essential health services, and healthcare cost, which means that over 100 million people are pushed into extreme poverty every year. In today's medical observation or any kind of decision making about your medical, everything have to start with the ability to extract your vital signs. And you need multiple types of devices to be available with you. At Bina, we're completely changing this world, and everything can be just extracted using a software app. The technology itself runs on the device itself, and within under a minute, just by looking at your smartphone, tablet, or laptop, we're able to extract your heart rate, oxygen saturation, respiration rate, mental stress level, and also additional vital signs that can be extracted. This technology, even though it looks extremely simple, everything has been spent years in order to optimize and to be able to run it. We used extremely advanced signal processing and AI in order to make it as simple as it is. And today, everything can run almost on every device. From a medical approval, we've been already approved in Australia, South Africa. Within the next few months, Japan, Canada, and other countries will be approving it. And by the end of next year, everything will be approved globally as a medical device. Today, as Bina, we enable other application developers. Doesn't matter if it's an insurance company, telemedicine company, hospital application, they're able to enable all of our capabilities inside of their software. Within the next year, we'll be adding additional types of capabilities. Just a few examples of customers that already use our technology. The largest insurance company in Europe, the largest insurance company in Japan, one of the largest insurance companies in South Africa already enabled their application using our technology. And within the next 6 months, we'll add more and more customers in multiple vectors. Our uniqueness, besides the IP portfolio that we have, is that the entire technology runs on the device itself, and we're completely agnostic to skin tone, age, gender, and today it can be available anywhere. When it comes to COVID-19, with the screening that is happening today, using our technology, every person can just start his observation every morning before he leaves home in order to know whether it's safe or not. COVID have pushed the entire industry forward, and we're able to make it available anywhere to anyone. Thank you very much, everyone.
Gary, it's over to you.
Hi, I'm Gary Marcus. I'm a cognitive scientist and the founder and CEO of Robust AI. We're trying to make robots smarter so they can help the world. Robotics has the potential to change the world. Machines, in principle, should be able to do things that are dirty, dull, and dangerous, saving people from risk. If we can make machines as adaptable as people, they'll be able to help us build shelter all around the world quickly and cheaply, rapidly develop infrastructure like roads in places that are inaccessible, and do jobs like delivery in hospitals during pandemics to spare people from risky jobs, maybe even serve as surgeons where there aren't enough human doctors. But the reality is that so far robots haven't lived up to their potential. The whole term robot was invented 100 years ago, but Even today, robots mostly still just work in assembly lines, just like they have for the last 50 years. They're not reliable enough to use in the real world. I have over here a picture of a security robot that's put itself into a reflecting pool. We just can't really count on the robots that we have today. The main bottleneck right now is that building robots is hard because every robot requires its own custom piece of software, and there's no great tools for developing that software. In fact, the whole process hasn't really changed that much since the 1970s. Every project is a mess that takes a long time to build and even longer time to debug. Most robots are really narrow. They do one thing and only one thing. So a robot that is designed to pick apples probably isn't going to be able to pick peaches. And an autonomous vehicle, which is a kind of robot that works at highways, might not be able to work in cities or in a construction zone. At Robust AI, we're trying to change that paradigm. We have 5 founders with over 100 years experience in robotics, AI, and the cognitive sciences. What we're building we call Lovelace, and it's a robust industrial-grade cognitive engine. It's a reasoning engine that has a powerful understanding of the world and how humans work. And we call it a cognitive engine by analogy to a game engine, which is something that game developers use to make their job easier. A game engine takes care of things like collisions, when do 2 objects hit each other, and rendering, what does it look like? Ours is an engine designed to help robots operate reliably in dynamic and open-ended environments by having an understanding of the physical world and people around it. The idea is that rather than telling a robot how to do something, you'll just tell the robot what you need done. So instead of endless code and endless debugging, our approach is what we call AI-powered authoring. It figures out the code you need and writes that code for you. So you say something like, bring this pile of building supplies here, but don't get in the way of the people putting up the drywall, and Lovelace makes it so. It figures out what you need to do. And that makes robots safer, more reliable, more flexible, and easier to build. And if we can do that, I think we'll be able to help the world in many ways, like growing and distributing food more efficiently, building infrastructure for things like roads and water and sanitation and energy more quickly with less risk to humans, and taking care of all our elders when human caretakers aren't available. And as I say, someday in the even more distant future, doing things like.
And now for the hardest job in the stadium, the judges must decide who was knocked out and who goes forward.
I think from the robotics, I think one of the things that we're very interested in, obviously, is jobs and robots. I don't know if, obviously people have to make the robots, but there are a lot of companies doing the robotics. And I think what the first person showed was from health, telehealth and telemonitoring and being able to, help people that can't afford healthcare. This should be very, helpful, especially if they take diversity in account. Because I know a lot of the tools can't assess color in face. So hopefully they're taking all that into account, which it seems like they are. I was impressed with the first one.
No, I was more impressed by the first one. The first one was very clear in what they were trying to do, how they were leveraging the AI. Clearly, it's something that is required. The wearable market is something that is growing. They seem to have come across some more innovative solutions in being able to address that.
Yeah, I'd agree, and I think that we know that there are continued advances taking place in wearables, and being able to consolidate biometrics across devices and across platforms is an important piece of that, and I think they've made some progress here.
Congratulations, Tel Aviv Leopards. Congratulations, David. And congratulations to the Bina AI team for making it to the next round. Well, 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 that brings us to our last head-to-head knockout round. Ladies and gentlemen, the founder of Hainunu, representing the Shanghai Tigers from China, Charles Bach. And now, the Chief Innovation Officer of Pangaea, another incredible company representing the London Wildcats from Great Britain, Amanda Parks. Charles, the floor is all yours.
My name is Charles Bach, entrepreneur, founder of Hainunu, based in Shanghai, and the third generation working in healthcare. One day, I called my mom, the lady in the picture, and I asked her, "How are you doing?" She said, "Yes, I'm fine, don't worry." But my older brother called me and said, "No, she's not fine. She fell down and went to hospital." And I had a shock. And from this shock come my dream. My dream is to help the seniors not only to live longer, but to live healthier and happier at home and bring the peace of mind to the children who live far away from them, like billions of children today. From that, we engaged 12 years R&D in US, Canada, France, and China to be able to deliver what we have, a wellness home senior kit that contain first, genomic testing to identify the top 12 chronic diseases risk. Once we have done that, we deliver a bundle of medical connected device to collect the vital sign. After that, we analyze those vital signs with our AI algorithm that will assess the risk. But we don't finish. We plug our partner insurance like AXA and Ping An, 24/7 teleconsultation, as well as accidental and death protection. For all this, it costs a price starting from $200 to $500 a yearly subscription. And we are happy that during the COVID, we achieved our first $1 million of sales. For this recognition, we are happy and honored that French President Macron, when he visited China, endorsed us personally as the best digital healthcare preventative solution in China. Before closing down, I would like to share the testimonial of Bayer, our partner, President Selina Xu, who will conclude my presentation by a testimonial.
Hainunu is on a mission to empower senior citizens all around the world to live healthier, happier, and longer lives, and at home. This results in peace of mind for the senior citizens and also for their families. Hainunu is a holistic and innovative wellness platform for use at home, leveraging IoT, AI, and robotics. Hainunu's ecosystem and
Amanda, it's over to you.
Hello, I'm Dr. Amanda Parks, Chief Science Officer and a founding team member at Pangaea. I'm a fashion scientist coming from Stanford with a PhD from MIT, with expertise spanning material science, mechanical engineering, robotics, and textile innovation. Working in science and tech, it became clear to me very, very early that the expansive solutions we have at our disposal to solve climate change were available if we only were to implement them. And as I moved more into the fashion industry, I soon recognized the massive underutilized opportunities to put new material technologies to work for positive change. Pangaea means an all-inclusive Mother Earth. We are a mission-driven material science company inspired by nature, and our philosophy is high-tech naturalism, utilizing nature's abundance, augmented by the very best technologies of modern science to prioritize biodiversity and regenerative systems. So as we know, there is a massive market to make change in this space. The global apparel retail market is over $3 trillion with a rising importance to sustainability for consumers. We're proving out an innovation-driven business model that's unique within fashion, and our approach to R&D spans from early stage research to collaborations with startups, up to industrial scale up and commercialization, whatever the industry needs to get to market. And we believe in collaboration, which is key to expanding our scope and speed. Digging further into our science, we're working towards bio-based and biodiverse solutions to transition to the bioeconomy. Our flagship patented material is a great example of this, Flower Down, which is waste wildflowers infused with biopolymer and cellulosic aerogel to make a plant-based alternative to goose down with no synthetics. Other materials in our collection are seaweed-based textiles, our trademark sea fiber, our grape leather sneakers, our antibacterial peppermint treatment, or other things coming down the way, like agricultural waste textile blends, a breakthrough biosynthetic, a partnership on lab-grown spider silk, new sustainable inks and dyes, and an expansion of bio-based leathers, for example, into mycelium. All of these innovations come together into essential everyday products that are high quality, accessible, and inclusive, the way that we imagine the future of the fashion industry. And we seek out like-minded collaborators ranging from artists, brands, and institutions like the UN for our sustainable development goals. And for every product and collaboration, there is an impact component. We have set up 2 funds, one for tree planting and bee conservation. To make all this happen, we have a team of experienced, passionate leaders coming together across diverse disciplines. And we also happen to be women-led, which happened quite organically. And the market is responding. We have been showing exponential growth on every front. And we also feel massively supported by a customer base that cares deeply about sustainability and shares our value system. The press have also taken notice. We could not be more excited about the global community that we are building. Thank you for having us, and welcome to the Pangaea family.
Judges, I'll turn it over to you to decide who's coming out victorious in this round.
I have one question for everyone, which was the first one, which I was really impressed with. My mom is 83, and so knowing that she would have access to all this is amazing. My question to all of you is, my mom is not technologically sophisticated at all. So how, would she tap into something like that at her age if she doesn't really, use technology?
Yeah, adaptability, like whether it could be adopted and adapted easily was also something that I thought about.
I think the main value proposition that the person was bringing is one comprehensive home kit for all the elders. Obviously, the idea would be that it should be easy to use. So maybe he didn't elaborate on that because unless it is easy to use and can be used by the elderly people, it would not make sense, nor would it have a market. But I think what he was trying to show is that in a small kit, you have all the essentials, vital signs, measurement systems. And then he is also using AI to be able to piece together or join together all the information which you collect in pieces and be able to arrive at some sort of suggestion or advice or whatever. I think that was the value proposition that he was indicating.
Each time our actions inspire our community to be better. We become one.
Guided by our founder's screw business as usual mantra, we quickly shifted our focus from business acceleration to recovery management.
Congratulations, London Wildcats. Congratulations, Amanda, and congratulations to the Pangaea team for making it to the next round. And a huge congratulations to all of our entrepreneurs who competed in the knockout round of the ESG Global Finals. Whew, that was round one, ladies and gentlemen. I think I was holding my breath the entire time. Thank you to our judges. Can't even imagine how hard it must have been for you. What wonderful ideas, what incredible creativity. We're now down to 6 teams for the final rounds. You know, for ages, we've always applauded champions for brute strength. But one closer look at history shows a very different story. The pen is indeed mightier than the sword. Even wars were ended with ingenuity, as demonstrated by Alan Turing, the mind behind the Enigma machine. Just look at the people here, for example. According to Ernst & Young, entrepreneurs create jobs at twice the rate of established companies, and 97% of jobs in emerging markets are contributed by SMEs. Every entrepreneur today has the capability to change the course of the world, and this playing field is probably the only one in history where everyone wins. But alas, the trophy can't be taken home by everyone, so let's take a short break before we get into round 2. We're so much closer to finding out who the ultimate champions are. But don't go too far, we've got some special messages for you.
Huge congratulations to all the winners of this inaugural edition of the Entrepreneurship Sports Generation. It's very exciting to see everybody's great ideas and inspiring to see also the commitment to making the world a better place and creating companies that can help advance the UN Sustainable Development Goals. And personally, I'm so thrilled to see those entrepreneurs working on education and helping educate all children around the world. Congrats.
Let's do it. Screw it, let's do it. Screw it, let's do it.
Screw it, let's do it.
When we join forces, when we overcome the barriers, when we show the strength of a resilient community, we become one.
मास्क चेहरों पर लगाएंगे, इमोशंस पर नहीं।
सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग करते रहेंगे और डांसिंग भी। हर मौसम में संग रहेंगे। वन फैमिली है, वन रहेंगे।
हम हैं वन फैमिली।
हम हैं मुंबई इंडियंस।
दुनिया हिला दे हम।
खींच के मारा छक्का, क्या उखड़ गई किल्ली, जैसा भी हो सीन
भागी पड़ी है लंका ठंड पड़ी जो चिल्ली पहन के स्वेटर ओढ़ के स्वैगर सबको नचा ओ दिल्ली रे तू रोर मचा ओ दिल्ली रे तू रोर मचा सीने विच वूफर बजे जीने विच आए मजे सीने विच वूफर बजे जीने विच आए मजे देखो चाचे मामे पहन के पजामे नाचे जब तक जनरेटर बजे दिल्ली रे तू रोर मचा ओ दिल्ली रे तू रोर मचा चाहे जीते चाहे हारे तू रोर मचा चिक्को नीचे मत लारे तू रोर मचा कूद के गाने गाए सारे तू रोर मचा तालियों के चढ़ने दे पारे तू रोर मचा
Hi everybody. Well, I love the entrepreneurship sports generation movement and I wish Team Brazil the very best luck in the ESG finals. Congratulations to the Brazilian team for making to the global finals and congratulations also for all the finalists. We hope we will be able to host the global finals of SIG in my city where I live, in Rio de Janeiro, in the coming years here in Brazil. And well, again, it's a pleasure to be a part of this event. And I truly hope that it grow and become bigger and bigger and more relevant each year. And count on me on this mission. And congratulations everybody that put this event together and make it happen. And again, congrats to the finals, to all the startups and the ideas that are running the finals right now. And so bye and hope to see you soon. Thank you.
Welcome back, everyone. We've had a very productive knockout round with our startups, and we got a peek into their ideas. Let's watch a quick recap to see the journey so far.
With music industry peers and someone who speaks at a lot of conferences, understood the importance of being able to retain jobs within the events industry.
Remind is deeply committed to SDG 3 on global health and well-being.
I kept thinking of calm as I was looking at Remind. I like the concept of one breath together. I love the name Remind.
At EdSites, we use conversational artificial intelligence to solve the college dropout crisis.
Virtual concerts, so they're promoting attending virtual concerts, and then they're leveraging AR, VR, AI technology to make it more realistic and more effective. So personally, I thought it was quite innovative, and that's the need of our times.
Right, let the spotlight round begin. Teams, prepare to answer questions from our panel of judges. May the best teams win. We welcome our judges for the spotlight round. Anastasios Economou is the global chairman of the Young Presidents Organization, as well as the founder and managing director of iGroup, a cutting-edge investment firm with a focus on relative value investing, looking to spot an industry that is at the low part of the business cycle, helping it flourish. Randall Lane is the Chief Content Officer of Forbes Media and editor of Forbes Magazine. He is a serial entrepreneur, having co-founded POV Magazine and Double Down Media, both to great success. Kelly Nascimento De Luca, president of the Nascimento Foundation, which supports programs to achieve global understanding of peace through sports, storytelling, and the arts. She is also a renowned documentary filmmaker and daughter of football giant Pelé. Rachel Morey Oshodi is a thought leader in the energy and infrastructure sector with extensive global and local expertise. She has led over USD 5 billion worth of direct investments in the oil and gas, power, heavy industry, transport, and ICT sectors in Latin America, Southeast Asia, the Middle East, and Africa, which is her main focus today. Henry Samuelson. Henry co-owns Campton Wealth and the Campton Club, the preeminent global membership club for families of substantial wealth and their private offices, providing education, connectivity, and support to over 1,400 families from 37 countries. Khan is one of the foremost hip-hop artists in Asia, breaking out in the Thai music scene by founding the group Titanium nearly 20 years ago. He's been a musician and entrepreneur each step of the way, touring across the world and selling out stadiums. Let the spotlight round begin. Okay, folks, you heard from them earlier. She's representing the Bengaluru Elephants from India. Let's hear it for Niveda RM from Team Trashcon.
You know the waste which is on the streets, landfills, oceans, and rivers? We take all of that waste as it is and sort it automatically using our world's first completely automated sorting system into food waste and plastic waste. And after segregation, the plastic waste is then converted to recycled sheets, which are similar to your plyboard, out of which we make benches, desks, tables, chairs, and whatnot. The waste management market itself is $2,000 billion market, and coupled with the ply industry, it's $300 billion more. And in just 6 months of operations, we have impacted 100 million lives, with over $1 million in revenue, and we are projected to reach $600 million by 2025. With a team of 50, excellent background, and with an advisory board from top 100 corporates and global investors like Shell and Amarante, we have a vision that tomorrow when I tell a story to my daughter saying, Beta, once upon a time there was waste, and my daughter says, Mama, what is waste? And in doing so, we are achieving 13 out of 17 sustainability development goals. Thank you so much.
Judges, you may begin with your questions.
I think what we're looking for is in 30 seconds, can you, and we saw some of it in your video, can you tell us exactly how your product works and what the product
So let's start with the input. The input, like I told you, is a diaper with blood, with glass, with metal, with plastic, with paper, everything sticking to one another. That goes into the machine. As it is, it's a complete unit that you saw in the presentation. It goes as it is without any tampering, without any manual intervention, and gets automatically sorted into what can be degraded and what cannot be degraded. And what cannot be degraded is generally the plastics that the world calls non-recyclable, which is similar to this cover here. You see this? It's not plastic. It has a plastic with aluminum sticking onto it. Now, this is what biggest of countries are trying to export off to smaller countries. You know, this is the plastic that is in the oceans, and this is something that nobody else is recycling. And this is what we recover from this entire unit, and that goes automatically into our, and again, a proprietary recycling technology, which then recycles it into recycled sheets, which are similar to your plyboard, which is then cut and made into all those value-added products. So it's a complete zero waste solution out of waste that's going into the landfills. Yeah.
Niveda, how many sites do you have at the moment up and running?
So we have around 15 plants across 5 states in India.
Okay, and how long have you been doing this? How long has this been going for?
So we have been doing it from, so although we started the entire project almost 4 years ago, we started working in the dump sites almost 4 years ago. We started installing our units only 6 months ago. And already in 6 months, we are across 15 plants in 5 states. You can imagine the extent. And these are all not states put together. These are states in different parts of India. And now we are going to Sri Lanka, Nepal, and Thailand as well. I mean, in Thailand, we are speaking to the SCG group, the King's Royal group, the Siam Cement group. So there's interest from all over. Yeah.
Sorry. So you have contracts abroad already in Nepal and Thailand?
Not really contracts. We are still talking to them, but there is a lot of interest from other countries.
Yeah. So I'm interested in understanding what's happening to that sheet once it's produced, and the kind of relationship you have with the various outlets for distribution or manufacturing.
Yeah. So the sheets are made considering the end life cycle in place. So when we make the sheets, we do not add any chemical resin. We do not use water in the entire process, thus not contaminating the water, which means the sheets are recyclable again and again for 13 to 15 times. Environmentalists call the process of us making these sheets as carbon capturing, because you're not going to buy a bench and desk and throw it tomorrow. You're going to keep it at least for 2 to 3 years. And then when you throw it, it comes back to us and we recycle it. So that way it is ensured that we are capturing the carbon as long as possible, number one. Number two, for selling the sheets, we have partnered with Target Retail. So they have furniture, home decor as one of their major components, where they currently use MDF and plywood. But we are able to give it at very, very affordable price. And at the same time, it's green, it's waterproof, termite proof, and multiple other advantages. So they're one of our customers. Unilever, we're working with Unilever to set up these sheets as toilets across India. There are a lot of slums, there are a lot of villages without defecation. So that is something we are doing very constantly. And apart from that, we have multiple tie-ups with smaller and medium scale furniture companies across various parts of India and abroad.
Well done, Niveda. I don't know how these startups handle the pressure, but they sure are excelling.
Guided by our founder's screw business as usual mantra, we quickly shifted our focus from business acceleration to recovery management.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's representing Team Delhi Eagles from Team India. Let's hear it for Karthik Soni from iSTEM.
Access to education and employment opportunities for the over 200 million youth with disabilities around the world, and COVID-19 has only made it worse. But technology has a lot of promise, and this is exactly what we are trying to do at iSTEM, where we basically, unlike existing OCR and captioning solutions, are able to handle a wide variety of documents in audio video and provide accessible material to people with disabilities for their academic and professional needs. We already have 7 academic and 11 corporate partners and 1,200 users with disabilities on the platform, and are expanding fast beyond India and North America to also include Africa. We're determined to realizing our vision where every single person can pursue a career of their choice and live a dignified life.
Judges, it's over to you.
I wanted to ask you that, there's such a gender disparity of access in STEM, and I can only imagine it is the same, in the disabled community. And I'm wondering what iSTEM does, or even in your vision, to promote and ensure gender diversity, both within your company and in the people you're hiring, but also in your vision for growth and outreach.
Right. Absolutely. So iSTEM, the way it started actually several years ago, well, actually maybe, so we were first more of a nonprofit, and the idea was, for us to basically do a lot of advocacy, mentorship programs and training programs, using our own experience as blind people who pursued STEM. And since that day, I think we have been very, very particular to make sure that we can have, we can target women with disabilities, because they, again, as you said, have like this intersectionality and like their unique challenges that that become exacerbated because of disability and gender. And so, a lot of the hackathons, internship programs that we still continue to do as part of our community efforts, that's kind of what we really try to do. And so what we do is we bring in women with disabilities, and we basically have them work with us on some exciting projects and help them develop their computer skills, their tech skills on real world projects. Because, they're actually contributing to the iSTEM product. And so that's kind of like one of the ways that we try to bridge the gap. And of course, in recruitment, we do a very targeted sort of recruitment. We are an affirmative action employer. Again, from our own experiences, where again, people with disabilities and gender, but also looking at other aspects around diversity, like LGBTQI, etc., are something that are very, very important to us. Just because again, these underrepresented communities are something that we ourselves come from, and we have seen the challenges that you face. And so yes, we are very, very mindful and targeted in our approach with that.
How scalable do you think that is globally? If you move around, how can you really take this around the world? And are you planning to be doing that, or staying focused for 2021 and moving later on?
Right. The beauty of this is that it's extremely scalable because everything is in the cloud. And so, if you think about both the products, the first product being where universities and businesses, they get this, this automation of their administrative workflows. The only difference that we've seen when working in India and North America, and actually now speaking to some of our partners in Africa, is that yes, the terminology that they use for a lot of those policies, the terminology that they use for a lot of the disability-specific, for example, accommodation process, yes, they differ, but the core components pretty much remain the same. And so we actually have not had to make too many changes when sharing that platform with our partners and customers in India and North America. And we are hoping, based on what the conversations look like from Africa, that would be the case for that as well, except for some verbiage tweaking around. In terms of the second platform, it's actually even better because all that you're really doing is you're making sure that your algorithms can cater to everyone. And because these are basically just accessibility algorithms, the same core principles, no matter where you are. And given that we already handle we have multilingual capability for our document service and also for our captioning services, both of them. This basically means that we can scale extremely fast from an algorithmic perspective, something that we're already doing and are looking to expand in 2021 in Africa.
Well, thank you, Karthik.
When we light the way for future generations, we become one.
All right, it's time for our next startup. She's representing the Lagos Lions from Team Nigeria. Let's hear it for Uju Oza Ojinaka from Team Tofa.
Ojinaka, founder CEO Traders of Africa, TOFA. At TOFA, we guarantee supply of raw materials to some of the big processors in the world. We do this in 3 ways: through the platform tradersofafrica.com, a Pan-African online marketplace for products grown, produced, or manufactured in Africa only; through the Source Pro unit, which is the offline part of the platform, through which we are buyers to sellers and sellers to buyers, still without keeping any content, and have amassed a web of field agents all over the continent. Also through AfricanTradeInvest.com, a Pan-African digital platform for funding and investing in African trade. And so last year, we did $2.1 million. This year, we're set to do $5 million. So we need to scale our operations to other African countries and currencies. Therefore, we require $1 million in equity and $2 million in debt. Thank you.
Judges, you're up. You may begin with your questions.
I have a question. I was looking at your website, and I was just curious if you have within your. I have a question. I was looking at your website, and I was just curious if you have within your any requirements, right? Or even any sort of vetting process of the companies that you partner with. Do they have to meet some standard of sustainability or carbon
Yes,
footprint?
we do.
Or in any way
Actually,
how
if you
produce or
understand the way it works here, and that's why the offline part is very important to us, because apart from just the companies knowing them already, we are also there to train them on the best way to do the supplies and also help them to do it. That was the reason why we set up the offline part of it, because a lot of African companies and suppliers don't even want to get involved with documentation and some of those processes. So we are there to help them do all of that and make sure that whatever it is that we're supplying is according to the specification and requirements of the buyers.
But in terms of of sustainability or carbon footprint, or and do the companies that you partner up with have to have any sort of minimum of understanding or even working towards sustainability, working towards, do you know what I mean? Is there a standard that you put out that the companies, because I think that would also, it has a dual benefit where, you become something, like you said in your video, the Alibaba of, of Africa, then, there will be, there'll be a great desire to work with you, right? And to be represented by your company. So that also would make people sort of more encouraged to make their product or their companies more sustainable, less carbon footprint, et cetera. So is that something that either you do now or that's in your vision?
Yes, there's a lot in our vision to grow to that point. Remember, you have to make it very interesting for them to actually continue to work with you and to do some of the things we want them to do, implement those things. Some of them can be a little bit expensive, and if you leave them to it, they're not going to be interested in doing it. So we start with what they are doing right now, and then we move them up. As we give them more orders, we're able to train them and turn them towards being a little bit more sustainable, a little bit working on the carbon printing and all of that. Okay, so that is actually a process. It's not an end. We're not there yet, but it's something that we work on.
Out of the 16,000 suppliers you say you have and the 1 million offline, what would you say would be the percentage of those who, without your platform, would not be able to have access to a local or global market that you're providing?
The truth of the matter is that eventually someone will sell, but at what value? Okay, so what happens is that if it's offline, if it's off peak, you see them selling for nothing, and then they're not motivated to come back again. So about 90% of the suppliers will be on that trajectory. Okay, so but because we are providing that market for them, you see them willing to continue to cultivate for the smallholder farmers, for the aggregators, and for the locals that we use as field agents with us when we're working with the Source Pro unit. So everybody gets to have a feel of trading with Africa and get something out of it, because that's the mission for us, to create wealth for all our stakeholders.
Thank you to both Uju and Topher.
Progressive.
Accepting.
Resilient. Peaceful.
Inclusive.
Blissful.
Bright.
Ladies and gentlemen, she's representing the team New York Bears from Team USA. Let's hear it for Claudia Recchi from EdSites.
co-founders of EdSites. At EdSites, we use conversational AI to help students graduate college. As immigrants and first-generation US college students, we know well the challenges of navigating school and built this product because we wish we'd have had it then.
We currently support hundreds of thousands of students every day. And we do this by using an SMS chatbot. So sort of like a virtual counselor that checks in with students and connects them to the best resources at the right time. We've helped universities decrease their dropout rates by 12%, and we've prevented tens of thousands of students from dropping out of college. We made the Forbes 30 under 30 list, and we also raised $3 million funding from top tier investors, including Techstars, Warby Parker, Allbirds, and Bonobos.
We feel grateful every day for the progress that we've made, and we know that this was all possible thanks to the education that we've received. Education is a ticket to a better future and to economic mobility, and we are thrilled to scale our solution within the US, but also globally.
It's now over to our judges. Let the next Q&A session begin.
No, it's fine. And then just the global issue, because you talk about US, we hear that. Is there a similar issue globally, and how are you looking to potentially look into that market, those markets?
Yeah, so it is definitely a global issue. We started in the US just because it's a great market for it. It's getting disrupted right now. And we wanted to focus US first, but I mean, I'm from Italy, and I know in Italy, it's a public problem. So it's a lot of the universities there are government funded, but still the government loses about $4 billion in Italy alone every year because of this issue. So it's definitely a global issue. And we just decided to start from the US, but our intention is definitely to go global.
Have you had discussions with a university outside of the US?
Yeah, so actually after we did, so we made Forbes 30 under 30 US and Italy, and then after we did the Italy Forbes, we got a bunch of inbound requests from universities in Italy as well. We initially decided we didn't want to lose focus, so we decided, we'll let you know basically when we're ready for it, but we're definitely actively thinking about it, and it's a huge issue there as well, especially because state schools are bigger, it's harder to navigate college, and there aren't really as many resources. So.
As a father of high school students,
yeah,
there are similar issues among high school. Have you looked into taking your technology and applying it to high schools or secondary schools?
Yeah, it's a great question. We've definitely thought about it. We've had a few high schools actually reach out about it. What we're doing now is starting the conversation a little bit earlier on in the process. So when high schoolers are applying to college, because we actually see a really big issue in dropout also in that period. So between like senior year and college, maybe students will apply, but then kind of life gets in the way and then they don't end up actually joining the college. So we've been doing a bit of that. And then when it comes to actual high schoolers, it's not a market that we've tapped into yet, but it's definitely top of mind. And we definitely know that it's a big opportunity as well.
What is the one thing that keeps you up at night? What is your biggest fear or risk as you move ahead?
Yeah, I would say for us right now, we're growing really quickly. So we just closed a round of funding in March. And also just because of COVID, we've had to scale more quickly than anticipated. So we've tripled our customer base since March. And so with that, we also need to grow our team. And that has been for us, like, I think the main thing that has been keeping us up at night, just like hiring the right people, making sure that they can contribute and getting them up to speed also remotely. I think that for us has been the number one thing that has been keeping us up at night. Just the recruiting, the training, and making sure that we hire slow, and don't rush into things. I would say that's the main concern.
Again, congrats to T Gelf and everybody, because these were great, really great. All four were really dynamite. I would love to, get behind all four of these. iSTEM and EdSite are both. Listen, iSTEM is an unbelievable story. It's so early. It's so small compared to the other ones. And EdSite's really interesting, but boy, that TrashCon for me is if it works, is a real game changer. Thank you guys. Amazing job. These are unbelievable companies.
It's not just that they're doing something exciting, but it is that they are transforming the way we see trash and you shift the mindset from a waste to a raw material. This is transformational, right? It completely solves a lot of the issues. And what I like is they are aligning profit with a solution for the environment. So it's self-sustaining, it will survive, you don't need government grants, and it will work. It's genius. The cost is very small, so you can actually do it. They have something that they've really developed, and they're creating a platform for really a part of the world that is not very accessible. Really an idea that will have huge impact in a vast number of people, and it will stick. And they will need a lot of help in terms of the business model. I can see it in his heart that they really mean to do well, and that is so commendable. They're good. They're there. They're doing something nice. They have a business model, but they're already addressing, I think, at this level, higher education later on. I think the real problem for the masses is, start with elementary schools, and because usually there's no money, that is not what they're addressing. Very commendable, very exciting.
TrashCon had me at hello. I have self-diagnosed landfill anxiety, and honestly, I was afraid that it was going to seem too good to be true. To be honest, I was afraid. I was like, I'm going to have to convince them all that this is real because I watched every single thing she had on the internet, and I cannot believe this is real. Honestly, it's like a really happy day here. I finally can get rid of my microwave that takes like 17 steps to open the door just because I don't want to imagine it in the landfill, but sitting downstairs. I just, first of all, I love her. I love her spirit. I mean, in terms of, again, the storytelling that I think, Shiv, you mentioned before, and the ability to inspire, she's incredible. Her story is incredible. And also in terms of the sort of collateral outreach of the project is incredible. Then iSTEM, because they are amazing, and EdSite for the same reason. It does seem like they're going to be okay.
I just wanted to say, first of all, thank you. I mean, I think you've got a really great shortlist here. Wow. I'm going to get started. TrashCon, I'm there. I'm with you all. I'll be honest with you. Listen, if this is real, this is something special. And I think I hope if not the winner of globally, the winner of everything. I mean, this is very, very special. For me, EdSite, mental health is important to me. I know this is more about keeping them educated. For me, empowerment of education is top of my list. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Lovely.
Thank
and
you,
I hope
Henry.
to catch
Thank
up
you
with you,
so
Rachel,
much.
all of you. And Khan, lovely to speak to you. See you soon, I hope.
You remember him from our first knockout round. He's representing the Tel Aviv Leopards from Israel. Give it up for David Maman from Bina AI.
Thank you very much for having us. My name is David Maman and we are Bina AI. At Bina AI, we are challenging one of the toughest challenges available today. We are making healthcare available anywhere to anyone at any time. Just by using a smartphone app, that's what it takes. We're able to extract vital signs in order to make any kind of decision that a person needs, to make healthcare available anywhere, and to make any kind of industries that are basing their decision by extracting vital signs to make it available to everyone. We're already in the process with a lot of different companies and in a lot of different governments in order to make it available to everyone. The solution have already been approved by a few countries as a medical device. And today, in under a minute, you're able to extract the most important vital signs just by looking at your smartphone. Our vision is to make it available to anyone, anywhere. And we are already on the right track of doing that. Thank you very much for having us.
Judges, it's over to you.
I'll jump in if you like. first of all, congratulations on making it this far. I think you've got a very, very interesting product here. Really, my question sort of stems from the moment when I look at your pitch and I look at the opportunity here. Could you just confirm at the moment, are we really looking at sort of stress and blood level, blood pressure issues, or is this going to be advanced to go further than that to sort of tell a bit more about the individual and the patient itself?
Okay, so what we already have in production now, running over 10 million devices, we have oxygen saturation, respiration rate, heart rate, hemoglobin level is coming out within the next 2 months, and all the different reads are already available and in production. As probably you've seen from my pitch, we're a B2B company. So, the largest insurance company in Europe, Generali, have already adopted our technology. Sompo, the largest insurance company in Japan, have already adopted our technology. And now we're talking with a few governments in the government stage.
I'm interested, given your space especially, to see how you guys pivot. Can you talk about how the global pandemic has affected your model, your projections, and how you operate?
Sure. So COVID-19 changed everything, and not only due to the need for COVID-19 screening, but a lot of different industries, from telemedicine companies, insurance companies, business continuity companies, have understood that everything is dependent on the ability to extract vital signs remotely. And that was very interesting, because since we started the company about 4 years ago, we always believed that this will be the vision, but COVID-19 put the entire market 5 years fast forward. So for us at Bina, that was amazing, because we had achieved over 1,000% growth just the passing year by implementing those kind of capabilities, not only in insurance companies, but actually telemedicine providers, everyone that basing their decision on the ability to extract vital signs remotely, anywhere, basically.
How are you protecting yourself against the Samsung or an Apple coming in eventually? They have a large established base, they can copy, they can put a lot of resources behind, and they're well connected. How do you protect against that threat?
So I think it's 3 different challenges. One is extremely reduced costs. No Apple, no Samsung, no other company will be able to provide such a service in $1, because it just doesn't worthwhile. Apple and Samsung are dramatically spending and investing in their Apple Watch. And the cheapest Apple Watch is about $300 in order to make it available. Not only the shipping it, and the entire friction is huge amount for them. A company like Apple that have $1 trillion in the bank can decide to go after anything that they wish. To tell you that we are completely isolated and are able to remove ourselves from the radar, it's impossible. But what we can do is to have an amazing technological edge that will take them a few years to catch up, to add more and more capabilities and run on everything, not just on the specific ecosystem of Apple or Google or Samsung. We are in the process, by the way, in order to make it available with 4 of the largest laptop manufacturers, because all laptops have a camera, as you can see, so it will run also on all the different laptops, and also on 5 different smartphone manufacturers as well, to be part of their healthcare ecosystem.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard from them earlier. Their team is representing the London Wildcats and Team Great Britain. Let's hear it for Team Pangaea.
The Chief Science Officer and a founding team member of Pangaea. We are a purpose-led material science company inspired by nature. We have created Pangaea to bring breakthrough problem-solving science to the world in real products, working to heal our wounded planet. Our philosophy is high-tech naturalism, utilizing nature's abundance augmented by the best technologies of modern science while prioritizing biodiversity and regenerative systems. Our innovations include flower down, a plant-based alternative to goose down, seaweed and agricultural waste textiles, a breakthrough biosynthetic, and a natural peppermint antibacterial treatment. We put our innovation into beautiful, essential products sold direct to consumer, incorporating a philanthropic element. Our innovations are also shared through a B2B platform, expanding access to sustainable material options across the industry. Our team is made up of experienced and passionate leaders coming together across diverse disciplines, including fashion, science, finance, and sustainability, and we are also female-led. And the market is responding. We are on target for 100 million sales for 2020, and we could not be more excited about the community we are building. Welcome to Pangaea.
Judges, you can now begin with your questions.
I have a question. First of all, I love your brand. I'm so excited about your partnership with Costa Brazil. I think it's amazing. I do have a question about cost, because I think that obviously there's a reason why it's 100. I started filling up my basket as soon as I went. I just started, and then I realized they're $160 each, which I understand. And, I mean, you're breaking scientific ground. I absolutely get it. But somewhere in your vision, right, there must be an understanding that to really create profound change, it's going to have to become more accessible, right? And the actual technology, but as well as the clothing. So my question is there a plan in your vision where your technology becomes more cost effective and where the clothing are more accessible and still maintains its sustainability?
So maybe I answer. So maybe Pangaea is we have two legs in the company. We have the consumer-facing brand, which is positioned as a premium brand, and we have the B2B business, which is designed to sell new, let's say, materials and innovations to big incumbents, such as, for instance, Adidas. And the purpose of the B2B is obviously we're going to start we will target, let's say, more the high end and the premium, and then as we scale, we're going to attract the Adidas and the H&M and the entire industry. And by doing so and by scaling more rapidly, by including all the industry in this movement, we will be able to reduce the cost and to pass this on to, let's say, the final consumer.
For example, if Adidas sort of adopts your process, right? Will it then necessarily no longer be sustainable? Meaning, once you're producing in that quantity, once you're
Okay, I see what you mean. That's all about kind of managing the supply chain and working with them and having to basically kind of, if we're supplying the textile or the fiber, then yes, we have a lot more control over that, or even working all the way through the product. So that it's fully possible. That is really a management question and a partnership question.
Are you going to make some of this technology available? Is it going to be, and just quickly, how are you going to do that? Because from my perspective, the global reach and the sustainability issue is questionable, but based really on what impact are you really going to have regarding the technology you produce yourselves? How is it going to be made available? And just impactfully, what's that play look like?
So all technologies we produce, we are making it available for everyone. We're not keeping it for ourselves only.
Sure,
I think at the same time, we're going to sell them. We're not going to open up the IP. So the idea is to bring it up, and then create the profits in order to invest in the better and better technologies, if that's the question. So idea is that we do want to bring like our flower down technology. We want to replace all animal down, and we want to give it to Patagonia. We want to give it to Montclair. We want to give it to North Face and so on. We don't want to keep it for us only. So there is no idea of bringing innovation and keeping it with Pangaea. Idea is of making it available for everyone. And I think coming back to the point about the cost, by making it available to everyone, we make it as competitive as possible to replace all which is out there now, which is not good for the environment.
And also just to add to that, that with the innovations, we figured out the entire production chain, which is really a big part. The patent is one thing, the breakthrough innovation is one thing, getting it all the way to commercialization where we can literally sell it to you or do a partnership with our factory is a much bigger deal. It makes it much more accessible for brands who don't have internal science and innovation, and then the impact can go faster and further.
Thank you, Team Pangaea.
from what I know of a business like that,
I'll jump in if you like,
Rachel, is that the costs for the R&D are going to be huge. It's not easy to develop spider silk. It's not easy to develop a flower down. So the base cost will be high, and that may impact their margins currently, but with production and everything else.
For production, and at which point they are no longer, sustaining a low carbon footprint. Right? Like how much silk, how much like whatever, butterfly silk can I don't know at what point that they're no longer a sustainable and low carbon footprint company. So how high can they go?
It's interesting. They're quite different in that. The first one really, I still believe, has got some existential issues on the grounds that every time you have to deal with governments, issue number one. And issue number two, eventually, I think they may survive, but I think they'll probably be bought out, which financially is going to be great for them. Because I do not think that once you have 50 million customers in any country and as visible as Japan, one of the big guys is not going to pick up on the technology, right? Whether it's adding it or creating something. So I also saw in the second company, and you can see that in Pagaya, they're bigger, better run. You can kind of see the more corporate structure in the team. They're already profitable. They will be around. And they have the capacity, I guess, to scale and produce while they're profitable and manage that, right?
This is an AI technology play where we're basically offering data to governments. Am I mistaken here that they are selling, it's a sale to the government and the government will then distribute to insurance businesses, or did I get this all wrong?
Two distinct channels, I think. They produce the data and then you find the customer and whoever it is, they get the data. So if government is paying, the government gets it. If it's an insurance company, the insurance company. Whoever pays for the SDK gets the data.
For the user is a higher insurance premium.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just a little bit. I put something ... question mark end user. Told that they shouldn't be driving at 63, that they should be slowing down and booking their beds early for retirement. I mean, I just something about it which I would prefer it if there was a better option or a benefit to the end user here.
The Bina I feels a lot more like an idea than an actual sort of group of people doing something.
Yeah.
Kudos to the T-Golf team for bringing forward two super interesting companies. Really, really good. $1 million, I'd probably bet on healthcare over, sustainable fashion.
Is that I actually like the story of BNI. However, I do not believe that the business model will be sustainable. I do have an issue with Pagaya as well, because one of the criteria is inclusion. And I also don't believe that it is inclusive.
What an incredible round. Let's give a round of applause for our finalists and for our judges. So much pressure, and it looked like our contestants didn't even break a sweat. The pressure is on our judges now. One thing's for certain though, I do not envy their job right now. There were some fantastic answers from our finalists, and if I had a choice, I would invest in all of them. While the judges deliberate, please stay with us for some special messages and an introduction to some of the best social enterprises selected from the ESG ecosystem. We'll be back shortly.
Our story started with a simple idea, the chance to demonstrate the potential of sustainable mobility. In a few short years, against all odds, that dream grew into a reality, pushing boundaries and developing technologies to create the first all-electric single-seater championship. In the 6 years since, we've travelled the world, electrifying audiences with edge-of-the-seat, wheel-to-wheel racing, gathering together the biggest names in motorsport to do battle in the centre of some of the world's most iconic cities. We've seen the drama and emotion of the most unpredictable and competitive racing series on the planet.
Yes, guys!
We've seen championships won and heroes made.
I'm lost for words, man.
From humble ideas, great legacies can grow. We are the ABB FIA Formula E World Championship.
Guided by our founder's screw business as usual mantra, we quickly shifted our focus from business acceleration to recovery management.
Screw it, let's do it. Screw it, let's do it. Screw it, let's do it.
Screw it, let's do it.
David Meltzer here to thank you for joining the Entrepreneurship Sports Generation movement. Congratulations to the winners of this year's ESG Global Finals. Very exciting to see the establishment of entrepreneurship in a sports and entertainment format. Always remember, be kind to your future self and do good deeds.
Please put your hands together for our special guest.
I'm Anne Rosenberg, the Executive Director of ESG. The ESG movement is a movement that inspires entrepreneurs to be conscious entrepreneurs. It is so important when we build startups that we do it with focus on the 17 global goals. Together with United Nations, we need to build back better, and we need so many great ideas to really come up with new solutions with exponential technologies where we support all the 17 global goals. And this is what the ESG movement is focusing on. That is why I'm excited to announce the 3 winners on the social entrepreneurship tracks. There's been thousands of great social entrepreneurs, and it was difficult to go in and find the 3 best. But here they come. So the first winner is Cure Bionis by Mohamed Diassi.
Hi, my name is Mohamed Dawafi. I'm from Tunisia. I'm an engineer and I'm the founder of the startup Cure Bionis. So globally, there are more than 30 million persons with limb differences, and only 5% of them have access to prosthetics. What is more shocking is that 95% of children with disabilities never complete primary school, and around 90% of adults with disabilities in developing countries are unemployed. So as a startup, we decided to empower people with limb differences by developing bionic arms. So these bionic arms are developed or made using 3D printing technology. So they are really lightweight. They are customizable because people or users can choose the color, the design of the covers, and that can be continuously changed easily, as you can see with magnets. These prosthetics are controlled with muscle signals, so no need for any surgical intervention to implement it. It's using artificial intelligence, so it's really easy and intuitive for usage. It has a solar charger because some countries don't have access to electricity. And finally, it's a multi-grip hand, so it can help them to do a lot of gestures like grabbing a big object, small object, tapping on the mouse, and many other gestures. Also, we developed a therapeutic solution using virtual reality, allowing users to get trained, but also to have a psychological therapy to accept their prosthetics. So they will be using VR to see a virtual hand, to control it with the same sensors of prosthetics, which is good for training, and to play games that simulate the therapy exercises in a gamified and funny way, while the therapy doctors can see on real time and online way the data and graphics. So at Cure Bionis, we believe that real superheroes don't wear capes but prosthetics. So be part of this dream.
The second winner is Recidivis with Clementine Jacobi.
Hi, I'm Clementine, and I'm one of the co-founders of Recidivis. The United States incarcerates more people than any country in the world at any point in history. The result is a global scale problem. The US accounts for 25% of the global incarcerated population. 1 in 3 women incarcerated anywhere is incarcerated here. 1 in 3 Black men in the US will go to prison in their lifetimes. And 83% of those released from prison will one day be rearrested. In short, we've built a revolving door that millions of people enter when young and can never leave. So we started Recidiviz to help make the US justice system an effective, accountable, and inclusive institution, as stated in the 16th Sustainable Development Goal. We're a nonprofit tech company that helps state governments reduce incarceration quickly, safely, and equitably. We've built an open source platform that pulls together fragmented data and powers tools that help governments across the country diagnose their local issues, make changes, and track their impact. Using technology, we can reach thousands of individual decision makers across our fragmented justice system. We can send alerts to individual officers telling them which people might need housing or treatment. We can help staff at the ground level see how their decisions can improve outcomes for people caught in the system. Our early states have been able to reduce recidivism, meaning people who end up back in prison after having left, by 30%, and their prison populations by 20%. We're now working in 8 states, covering 15% of the country. During COVID, we turbocharged our work, helping states safely transition people out of crowded prisons and into the community during the pandemic. The states that worked with us reduced incarceration 3 times faster than states that didn't, resulting in thousands of early releases from prison. COVID is creating temporary downward pressure on incarceration. By leveraging this moment, we can help end mass incarceration, healing communities, and returning people to their families generations earlier than would be possible without a scaled solution. Thank you.
And the third winner is Restate Anastasia Kalanina.
2020 may have been a difficult year for all of us, but it really prompted us to reconsider many of the things that we were taking for granted for far too long. We saw people dying because they could not get access to quality healthcare. We saw inefficient systems unable to support groups in need. And we saw a failure of global collaboration on governmental level. Keeping up with the news held tragedy after tragedy, but in my day-to-day, I saw friends creating and sharing people-to-people mutual aid databases, a reduction in greenhouse gas emissions in our cities, revival of plants and animals, and reconnection with faraway loved ones who learned how to use Zoom. This year, people seem to open their hearts and minds to embrace entirely new ways of being and doing, proving just how resilient our species is and can be. This year marks our chance to break away from what we thought was set in stone. What if our governance systems match the level of sophistication we achieved in other spheres of our lives? What if management of communities, cities, and countries was transparent, data-driven, and evidence-based? What if there appeared new states where members are not linked by territory, but by shared rights, goals, and responsibilities, where one could truly be a global citizen and a local community member? What if we could completely reimagine governance? Shattered by the recent global pandemic, the world has never been so ready for experiments in the sphere of governance. This is why we created Restate, an open, collaborative, impact-oriented platform for governance innovation. We engage in thought leadership. We do research, develop, and support ethical, human-centered governance technologies, and we organize communities of thought and practice around governance innovation. If you think that governance can be transparent, decentralized, participatory, supported by technology, and human-centered, come to our website, send us a note, and take part in conversations that will be starting in social media soon. The 2020s mark a unique opportunity to nudge the process of human reorganization and launch a call for new, fresh, and bold ideas. Let's dream and build together in Restate.
A big congratulations to the 3 winners and to all the social entrepreneurs that applied to the ESG competition 2020.
As we come closer to the end of this exciting series, here's one more interesting thing I would like to share. Just a few years ago, children were given very few career choices and even few moments of encouragement to deviate from the expected path. It makes me very happy to see that today we are moving away from that mindset so quickly, and we know just how important the youth is in helping build our diverse, inclusive, sustainable future. ESG's youth competition was rolled out across India this year and will be rolled out globally in 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you highlights from ESG Youth 2020. So you see how talented our youth is, and with such fabulous ideas. T-Guelph reaches 3 million children in 14 countries and has set a target to reach over 100 million children in the next 3 years. Please join us in spreading the word. Let's change the world one school at a time.
My name is Ashish Advani from JA Worldwide. On behalf of Junior Achievement, I'm so happy to say a few words about our collaboration with ESG and with T-Guelph. JA has been teaching entrepreneurship for over 100 years in high schools across the world. We now operate in over 115 countries. We have over 100 million living alumni. That is why I'm so proud of our partnership with ESG and with T-Guelph. To be able to offer our young alumni the chance to continue their experience with entrepreneurship and compete with each other on a global scale with the metaphor of sports. How brilliant is that? You know, the idea of being an entrepreneur at a young age, it actually impacts your mindset. It helps you start to think of yourself not only as a job creator who can create jobs for yourself and for others, but also an agent of change, a force for good. You know, the UN Sustainable Development Goals have actually set a framework for all of us to solve real world problems. And entrepreneurs will be so critical to be able to deliver the very, very difficult challenges that have to be overcome that are articulated by the SDGs. I truly believe that with the partnership between JA and ESG, there is so much we can do, so much young people can do to actually address the goals which the UN has set for us by 2030. That's why I'm eager to see what happens with this year's competition. I want to wish the best for all of the hard work that's been done by the organizers on the T-Guelph team. And I also want to wish the competitors very well during this first Global Finals. Well done, everyone. Good luck.
मास्क चेहरों पर लगाएंगे, इमोशंस पर नहीं।
सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग करते रहेंगे और डांसिंग भी। हर मौसम में संग रहेंगे। वन फैमिली है, वन रहेंगे।
हम हैं वन फैमिली।
हम हैं मुंबई इंडियंस।
दुनिया हिला दे हम।
Imagine a world with 1,000 great leaders. Where are they? Help us find them. The lead search has begun. Join us at tguelph.org. Shuruaat hu main.
Progressive.
accepting,
resilient,
peaceful,
inclusive,
blissful,
bright.
Our story started with a simple idea, a dream scribbled on the back of a napkin over a meal in Paris. A chance to demonstrate the potential of sustainable mobility and to ignite an inspiring race to the future. In a few short years, against all odds, that dream grew into a reality, pushing boundaries and developing technologies to create the first all-electric single-seater championship.
The lights are coming on, and for the first time, we go green in Beijing.
In the 6 years since, we've travelled the world, electrifying audiences with edge-of-the-seat, wheel-to-wheel racing, gathering together the biggest names in motorsport to do battle in the centre of some of the world's most iconic cities. We've seen the drama and emotion of the most unpredictable and competitive racing series on the planet.
Yes, guys! Great job, team!
We've seen championships won and heroes made.
I'm lost for words, man.
Together, we've driven forward pioneering technologies and accelerated the adoption of electric cars across the world in the fight against climate change. After 6 seasons of racing, we've been certified the first sport in the world to be net zero carbon since inception. There's so much more we can do together. Our mission is to accelerate sustainable human progress in our race for a better future for all. From humble ideas, great legacies can grow. We are the ABB FIA Formula E World Championship.
The JA Network and I stand for job creation through entrepreneurship. Let's unite. Join the ESG Network.
And then just the global issue, because you talk about US, we hear that. Is there a similar issue globally, and how are you looking to potentially look into that market, those markets?
Yeah, so it is definitely a global issue. We started in the US just because it's a great market for it. It's getting disrupted right now.
They have something that they've really developed, and they're creating a platform for really a part of the world that is not very accessible. How are you protecting yourself against a Samsung or an Apple coming in eventually? They have a large established base. They can copy. They can put a lot of resources behind, and they're well connected. How do you protect against that threat?
So I think it's 3 different challenges. One is extremely reduced costs.
It's time. The judges have come to a difficult decision. That's why it took a little longer than expected. Now to the winners of the early stage ESG competition. Congratulations to the bronze medal winner, iSTEM representing the Delhi Eagles from India, Karthik Soni.
I think it's been a really great journey. When I first heard about the ESG, it seemed like a really good way to get some visibility and meet other startups who were doing some really amazing and commendable work as well. And so my primary motivation for applying was really trying and seeing what is happening in social entrepreneurship around the world, and also especially in India, since I did not have much experience and exposure, and also being able to meet mentors and investors. And that's exactly what the ESG ecosystem was all about, which got me really excited about it. And so, first of all, I think the city finals itself, it was so humbling to see, all of the amazing startups that were there doing some crazy work, and the traction and the progress that they've been able to make. And just being able to interact with the co-founders even before the start of the event, when we would be in breakout rooms, that was such a great learning experience as well. Then following up with some of those people after the event as well. For example, I got like the number of we connected on LinkedIn with a number of other entrepreneurs and startups as well, and so it has been really good even from a networking perspective. And so I really don't just look at it as a competition, but really a journey. It's been absolutely wonderful to be on the journey. Right after the city finals, the mentorship calls that we had to prepare for the national finals were extremely helpful because so it wasn't just about, hey, well, this slide is could be changed to this. It was a lot more, for me at least, was a lot of brainstorming and really trying to answer some very challenging questions and questions that we hadn't thought too much about. And so it was really good to think about them and then go back to the team and make sure that we had answers to those questions. So that was yet another highlight for me from the journey, being able to talk to people all along the way. And then of course, from national to confederation, I think again it was great to see the work that was happening outside of India as well. My exposure really has been just India and North America, so to be able to see what's happening in China and Europe and other continents and read more about their work, especially also in my specific domain of accessibility and disability, was really interesting. And gave us a lot of ideas and potential collaboration opportunities. So it's really been this sort of being a part of this ecosystem through this competition. So yeah, has been an absolutely wonderful work.
And the silver medal goes to Traders of Africa, representing the Lagos Lions from Nigeria, Uju Oza Ojinaka.
You won? Oh my God! Oh, I used to know your job. Are you serious? Thank you so much. ESG, thank you, Tigaf. Thank you. Oh my God, this is amazing. On behalf of all of us, my team, I call them Team Awesome. People doing great things for our Africa. I want to appreciate you for this awesome opportunity. Thank you. I'm surprised. Oh my good Lord. Thank you so much. Thank you, Tigaf. Thank you, SG. Thank you for this awesome opportunity. Thank you. I'm so short for words. I'm shaking right now. Thank you guys. Thank you. Wow.
And finally, the moment that we've all been waiting for. This moment has been a year in the making. It is time to announce the gold medal winner. Wait for it. And the winner is TrashCon, representing the Bangalore Elephants from India, Nivedha RM.
So I still can't believe that we won the ESG finals. It's really a dream come true, and I really don't have words to express my gratitude and happiness to show how much this means to us. But it goes without saying that it's a huge responsibility for all of us at TrashCon to ensure that we create the impact that we intend to in a much larger and faster way. And now we know that the world is backing us in our battle towards a cleaner tomorrow. Thank you so much. The ESG team was wonderful and passionate, amazing set of jury, and of course the super passionate fellow entrepreneurs. It was a different energy. Absolutely loved it, and we look forward to collaborating with each one of you to co-create a cleaner and better tomorrow. Thank you again. Thank you so much.
Now to the winners of the Growth Stage ESG competition. Many congratulations. The bronze medal goes to Robust AI, representing the Palo Alto Pumas from the United States of America, Gary Marcus. And now for that all-important second place, the silver medal goes to, let's all put our hands together and congratulate Bina AI, representing the Tel Aviv Leopards from Israel, David Maman. Finally, the moment that we've all been waiting for. This has been a year in the making. The gold medal for the growth stage companies that will change the entire world. The winner is Pangaea, representing the London Wildcats from Great Britain, Amanda Parks.
Wow, this is so amazing. Oh, wow, this is an incredible feeling. Thank you so much. From everybody at Pangaea, this is a huge honor. The competition and everybody that we met as part of this program was really incredible companies, and we loved participating so much and getting to know people. So it is a huge honor to have won, and we very much look forward to all of the continued access that we will get from this program and all the support. So really amazing organization, working with ESG this whole time, just incredible people that are offering up their guidance, and we can't wait to see where this program goes around, creating real startups and companies that have purpose and can make impact globally. We're so honored to have been a part of it, and even more honored to be the winners. Thank you.
And with that, this night comes to a close. It's been a wonderful journey of teamwork, great ideas, innovation, anticipation, and incredible energy. The greatest sport on earth, solving problems and creating jobs to build a sustainable world for future generations. I'm your host, Shibani Dandekar, wishing all our entrepreneurs the very best of luck and thanking you all for being here today. Welcome to the ESG family, and we look forward to seeing you for an even bigger and more impactful ESG 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, good night.